This is the TNA Wrestling No Surrender 2024 pay-per-view full show results video which takes place in New Orleans, Louisiana. The show started with a match between the Rascals vs Mike Bailey and Trent Sabin, and the result of this match was the Rascals defeated Mike Bailey and Trent Sabin by submission when Zachary Wentz distracted the referee for Steve Maclin to run in and clip Speedball's knee, then Wentz cranked a leg lock for victory. Frankie Kazarian then cuts a promo ahead of his match against Eric Young later tonight. Kazarian says he isn't in the business of having meaningless matches, and that is why he went to Director of Authority Santino Marella and made his match against Eric Young a #1 contenders match for the TNA World Championship. The next match happened between Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers vs Kushida and Kevin Knight, and the result of this match was Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers defeated Kushida and Kevin Knight by pinfall when Knight became victim to a roster cut from Myers and a Boston knee party from Edwards. The next match happened between Eric Young vs Frankie Kazarian, and the result of this match was Eric Young defeated Frankie Kazarian by pinfall when Eric Young slyly surprised Kazarian with a crucifix pin to win, and now Eric Young will challenge TNA World Champion at Sacrifice pay-per-view. After the match, Eric Young had already exited, and Kazarian attacked the referee. He mounted the official to rain down angry punches, but then the referee staff and security ran out to break it up. We then head backstage, where Gia Miller interviews the Grizzled young vets. James Drake and Zach Gibson say they will win in tonight's Best of 3 series finale against TNA World Tag Team Champions ABC. The next match happened between Ace Austin and Chris Bay vs Grizzled young veterans for the TNA World Tag Team Championship, and the result of this match was Ace Austin and Chris Bay defeated Grizzled young veterans by pinfall when Bay hit a double art of finesse springboard cutter on GYV, Ace followed for the fold on Drake, and Bay picked up the winning pin to retain the TNA World Tag Team Championship. We then head backstage, where Steve Maclin is hyping up the Rascals until Speedball, Mike Bailey and Trent Sabin try to ambush them. Referees then come in and prevent a possible brawl. The next match happened between PCO vs Big Con, and the result of this match was PCO defeated Big Con by disqualification when Con grabbed a steel chair and hit PCO, and that is a disqualification. After the match, Con continues his assault on PCO. Con snaps PCO's neck and buries him under a pile of chairs. Con then attacks the timekeeper as PCO rises once again, but PCO then brings the fight to Con with repeated steel chair shots. Con then bounces back, dropping PCO spine first on the ramp. Con then handcuffs PCO to the entrance tunnel before wrapping a steel chair around his neck and snapping it once again, but PCO then roars as Con heads to the back. We then head backstage, where Shelly talks about how he doesn't want Sabin out there because he is in the main event. Sabin then demands that the Jet Setters absolutely can't throw the towel in, and Shelly tells them to not throw it in no matter what. The next match happened between Masha Slamovich and Killer Kelly vs Rosemary and Havoc for the Knockouts Tag Team Championship, and the result of this match was Masha Slamovich and Killer Kelly defeated Rosemary and Havoc by pinfall when Slamovich delivered a big boot to Havoc on the apron. Then she caught Rosemary for the snow plow to become the new Knockouts Tag Team Champions. After the match, MK Ultra nails Havoc with the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team titles and stomps on Rosemary until Danny Luna and Jody Threat make their way down to the ring to make the save. MK Ultra then retreats. The next match happened between The Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander vs Simon Gotch, and the result of this match was Josh Alexander defeated Simon Gotch by pinfall when Alexander hit Gotch with a backbreaker followed by his C4 spike finisher for the win. We then head backstage, where AJ Francis approaches Rich Swann and tells him that just because they're opponents this Thursday on TNA Impact, that doesn't mean they have to be enemies. Then we saw a No Surrender rules match between Moose vs Alex Shelley for the TNA World Championship, and the result of this match was Moose defeated Alex Shelley by pinfall when Moose hit a third spear using the chain on his shoulder. Kushida then threw in the towel and Moose comes out of the match with the win and retained the TNA World Championship. Before the next match gets started, Ash by Elegance is shown sitting ringside as she will watch the TNA Knockouts World Championship showdown. The next match happened between Jordynne Grace vs Jazelle Shaw for the Knockouts Championship, and the result of this match was Jordynne Grace defeated Jazelle Shaw by pinfall when both women traded strikes. Shaw then superkicks Grace and goes for a cutter, but Grace evades the move. Grace then hits her Juggernaut driver finisher on Shaw for the win and retained the Knockouts Championship. We then head backstage, where Jake Something says that for the first time since 2005, an X Division Championship match will main event a PPV. Something then says 2024 will be the year he becomes X Division Champion. In the main event of the show, we saw a match between Sabin vs Mustafa Ali for the X Division Championship, and the result of this match was Mustafa Ali defeated Sabin by pinfall with a 450 splash to become the new X Division Champion. Mustafa Ali shocked the world, and celebrates the victory, and the show goes off the air.